Hello and welcome to On Course, the journey through Anne Arundel County Public Schools. I'm Skip Lee, your host, and we're glad you joined us. We're really featuring all of the amazing that's happening in and out of the classrooms throughout our entire county. We are featuring the initiatives of the Advanced Studies and Programs Office, curriculum and instruction, as well as all of our other initiatives here. Today we're featuring career and technology education, and to bring us a lot of information about that, I've asked Deb Kremer, the coordinator, to join us. Deb, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you just bring us up to speed a little bit about your role and responsibility here in the county and some of the things that you do?
Sure. Well, I'm the coordinator of career and technology education, so my job really is to expand opportunities for students.
Okay.
And we look at different career fields. We work closely with our economic advisory boards, Anne Arundel Workforce Development.
Okay.
We get kind of that pulse on what's going on in our economy, what are job opportunities that are coming up from students, and we try to make sure that we create programs that are pipelined or streamlined so students can easily get some great experiences while they're in high school, and it'll lead them either right into industry or into their post-secondary choices.
Amazing. Now CTE, that's an acronym that stands for?
Career and Technology Education.
And you're in charge of not just technology, right? There's much more to that. Business education and family and consumer sciences?
Absolutely. All of the tech ed classes and family and consumer science, business ed, and computer science are all falling within career and technology education.
So what's the pulse now with what we're doing in our schools and how our kids are moving on to career opportunities? How are we doing?
Well, we're doing well, but we kind of need to expand the opportunities for students. And what we're working on now is really letting parents and students understand that the economy is changing, the world is changing, and we don't want to just kind of blindly push students off into a four-year college without having a good plan. Four-year colleges are great if a student knows what they're interested in and has done a little research on whether or not they can get a job in that industry. Last thing we want is for students 4 years down the road to leave college, have $80,000 in student loan debt, and not be able to get a job in that field.
So we have another acronym in the county called CCR, Career and College Ready. So you really embrace that career part, don't you?
We absolutely do. Both. We expect or hope that students can be both career completers and college completers. That's what gives students really the best head start.
In your introduction, you mentioned business partners. Talk to me a little bit about your PACs and how they help you support what the programs that go on in and out of our county.
Well, our school system offers 40 different CTE completer programs.
Wow.
And so each of those are a specific career field. We have business partners that work with each of those programs. They come together to meet at least once a year to really give us guidance to make sure that our programs are aligned to industry standards.
Okay.
That we're offering students the best opportunities at earning industry certifications and college credits. So all of our programs are really designed to have a great value-added piece.
Now you mentioned 40. Are they in the comprehensive school? Are they split between there and the CAT centers? How does that, what's the distribution of those programs?
Well, they're both. We have a lot of programs that are in comprehensive high schools.
Great. And
of course our applied tech centers also host many. So usually we look at if a program requires really extensive equipment, and it's a very expensive program to start. Your applied tech center is the best place to put that. And that way students from a variety of schools would have an opportunity to attend that program.
And that's where we are today. We're at the Career and Technology Center here in the south part of our county. And to give a little bit more information about CAT South, how about if we bring Mr. Rose in, the principal, here to talk with you.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Porter. Anne Arundel County Public Schools Department of Transportation is raising the level of awareness for the safety of your children as we transport them to and from school. When a school bus stops to load students, as a driver, this is what you will see. At 150 feet, the bus will activate hazard lights. At 100 feet, the bus driver will activate the amber lights. They will start slowing down. At 10 feet before the bus stops, they will turn on the red bus lights. Their stop sign will come out, and students will begin to load. Once all students are on board safely, the bus driver will turn off red lights and move forward. At this time, it is safe for the motorist to resume movement.
Mr. Rose, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I know that both of us have something in common. We love to talk about career technology education. Now, I know that you've spent a lot of time in the school system and you've had a variety of positions. Now that you're the principal of Cat South, can you tell me a little bit about how that's different from other things that you've done?
This is absolutely the best job I've ever had. I absolutely love coming to work every day, and it's a place where kids absolutely love coming and learning, and it's an engaging experience where teachers love their jobs and kids are exploring their passions, and we're really taking them to the next steps of rigor and applying what they're learning in the classroom out in our different and various shops and in our labs.
Good. So you mentioned students specifically. What do you think is different about the experiences here than they're getting at their comprehensive high schools?
So I think here we really give the students the options to explore the different things they want. For example, in our ninth grade program, we invite all ninth graders in, and we give them 4 choices of different programs that they may have experience or may just be interested in. So for example, a student may choose a different palette of courses such as culinary, IT Cisco, Networking Academy, cosmetology, and nursing. So things that students necessarily aren't really exposed to when they're younger, we really have the ability to give them a little taste of that, maybe for 10 class periods or so. 10 class periods or so throughout a semester. They would have 4 different rotations.
That is a great opportunity. I think all too often students don't take advantage of these opportunities. Parents don't even know they exist necessarily. And then students head off to a 4-year college and start taking classes that they find they hate, right? Parents have paid all this money when they could have experienced those things with us and really kind of narrowed their interests and realized what their passions are.
And that really allows us to, again, with the different students' passion is really expose them to a career option that they may not even know that it exists. And, a lot of our students are prepared, and they are, I apologize, they really are prepared salary-wise, and they come out of a CTE school such as Cat South or Cat North, and they're making anywhere in between $35,000 and $45,000 right off the bat without paying any extra fees for tuition or any scholarships. And a lot of our trades and different programs here have next steps. So, for example, in our electricity program, we've built partners with, we have business partners that we've built relationships with, where students are able to transition naturally and actually start in their 2nd year. And then also in our IT Networking Academy, our students can earn up to 16 credits, proficiency credits, at Anne Arundel Community College. And that's also true in a couple of other programs, Academy of Health and our Carpentry program. They're able to earn proficiency credits, which are transcripted credits. That means they don't have to pay anything, and they're on their transcript at the college level.
Right. And I think something, we recently were in a PAC meeting together where a student, an alum, a student who recently graduated, was telling us about the place he currently works, which happens to be NSA, is not only paying for his college, but NSA is paying him to go to college. So essentially, they're paying him to work 40 hours a week, but he only shows up 20 hours a week.
That's correct.
And then they're paying him to sit in a college class in addition to paying for the class.
Right.
So I think that's something that a lot of parents don't understand. What are those value-added pieces that could really save both them and their student in the long run?
Great question. So we have a lot of industry-recognized certifications here at Cat South, and CTE in general have them. We have over 50 industry-recognized certifications in our 14 different programs we offer. So we have, for an example, we have our interactive media production program, which offers 2 different certifications, and our welding program offers 3 different certifications. And our Academy of Health program offers certified nursing assistant, geriatric nursing assistant, and certified medical assistant, 3 different certifications.
That is really, really valuable information. And I think that hopefully everyone will be able to make better decisions now since they've learned these things from us. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
The The new kindergarten, first, and second grade curriculums are designed to engage students in a variety of learning opportunities that involve cooperation and problem solving.
What do I do?
Student discourse and structured play develop social foundations through peer interaction. This learning block promotes curiosity, imaginative thought, and responsiveness. The primary focus is on the work of young children, play. The use of tools and materials allows students to share, take turns, and develop the confidence to make effective decisions in school and in life. Ask your child how they interacted with their friends today while engaging in structured play.
Hi, Logan. How are you today?
I'm ecstatic, Deb. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and I'm very happy that I can come here and talk to you about the program that you're participating in. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Of course, and thank you for coming here. We're in Carpentry right now for Cat South, and so that's going to be using the workshop to build sheds, and in this case, a Southern Trophy case is what we're under construction right now.
Great. What kind of skills do you learn in this class that can then go on into a career?
Well, first of all, we use the safety as the main component of what we learn here today and throughout the whole entire course of the past 2 years that I've been here in Carpentry too. And we use that in order to go into a workplace safe and make sure everything is entailed, as well as knowing the basics of how to construct and use together in teamwork to build something.
Fantastic. So what kind of got you interested in this program? How'd you end up here?
Well, when I first came in here, I started off in auto collision and moved my way over to carpentry and fell in love with it because of working with wood and all the people around here had a good mentality to it. And that's where I am today. Kept me here.
Great. So what do you think you're going to do with the skills that you've learned here?
Well, I want to use it going on into college years and past is to work on theater sets or wherever I may to be able to use my skills to benefit others in that area, and then as well as get myself out there as an actor.
Oh, great. So you plan on going to college when you leave here?
Yes, ma'am.
That's fantastic. So a lot of times people are a little confused about some of the programs and they think, oh, if my student attends one of those programs, they wouldn't be able to go to college. How can you kind of dispel that myth, and what would you say to parents?
Well, I think it's very much so the opposite. I think instead of limiting, it's more of a beneficiary and exceeding role in people's going into college life and working into real life situations. So I think in college life especially, it could be another way to get money or help move along their education.
Great. And have you earned any certifications while you're in this program that might help people in their jobs?
Yes, ma'am. So usually what you would do if you're going outside of this Cat South area and you're outside of college, what they would direct you towards is paying a bunch of money to be able to learn these basics that we're learning today. And we learn those for free, which is another plus on going to Cat South and learning all of this here.
Great. What about the other people in your class? Do you know what they might plan on doing with the skills that they're learning here?
Of course, yes. I know many of them are wanting to start their own business in carpentry.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, and even continue that, not even only towards construction, but construction can vary towards any type of field that you would may. So it could help them out with any business that they decide to go towards.
Great. And so mentioning businesses, I know that that's kind of a big part of what we do in our programs, getting business partners involved. Have you had any experiences where business partners come in, or you've talked to other people about how these skills could be used?
Yes, ma'am. We had two people come in. We had ACPS maintenance come in, as well as Baker and Kerr. We had interviews about not too many weeks ago, and they came in and we all interviewed and gave our resumes to check out and see how we would do in a real life interview. See if they
Oh, great.
like
So
that.
it's kind of a practice.
Yes.
That,
yes.
that real world skill that you would take to any job, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and it was great practice for anybody who hadn't done an interview before or made a resume, for that fact.
Good. So you mentioned that you had an opportunity to sample some other programs within this building. And you started out, was it just auto collision, or have you experienced any others?
For me, it was just auto collision. So what they have is for the first year, you can do it for the first semester, you can choose any throughout, and the second semester you can switch from whatever that be, whether it be carpentry to cooking or anything like that.
Great.
Yeah.
So what do you think is kind of that main difference between classes, the things that you're doing here, and the things that you do back at your comprehensive high school?
I think
What makes it different?
The difference is that we get hands-on in here. Is that instead of just learning, and of course we do our paperwork, but here it's really using your full body and your physicality to get in there and make something happen. And then it also has that objective and not just being by yourself in a grade. It's working as a team to come together and build a house or build a fence, anything that may come up. So
Great.
it's very teamwork.
Good. And then also a lot of people think, well, we come here, we do something totally different, right? It doesn't have anything to do with what we're learning at the comprehensive high school.
Right.
Is that true, or do you transfer some of those skills?
You definitely transfer over some of the skills. Like in carpentry, we get a math credit as well for being here. So whatever we learn, we're also learning the basics of math, and anybody who's struggling with math can get more help here.
Oh, great. Great. So if there was a student that came up to you, let's say a 9th grade student who's not sure what they want to do, they don't know if they want to come here, what would be your advice to them?
My advice is get as much experience here as you can. Be like a sponge, be adaptable, and make sure that you're here to learn, and make sure you're here to do something that you love. Don't pick something just because your friends are doing it. Do something because that's what you feel is the best path for you to go down, and the path that you want to follow through for the rest of your life. Because this is real world here. Of course, we're still in high school, but in the same fact, you gotta have that mindset of where you're going in the future and what you want to obtain.
Right. Yeah, and I hear that from a lot of students, that they get to test things and taste things and try things that they think they're passionate about. They might not know a lot about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. That's wonderful. Thanks so much. Thanks for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Deb.
Hi, I'm Wiley Baker. Join me later today for Anne Arundel County Public Schools Athletes in Action right here on AACPS TV.
Thank you for joining us here. Can you tell us a little bit about the program that you're in?
So I'm in the cosmetology program, and it's a 3-year program. Level 1 starts your sophomore year, and it's mostly bookwork, learning all the information to do with the field. And then level 2, you get into some practical tasks, and you learn hair color and perms, relaxers, acrylic nails. And then level 3 is just state board drills. We're practicing to get our license, and we're just running those drills, getting all the information down that we need to go and take our test.
Wonderful. So you mentioned license. What details to get a license? What do you have to do to earn a license?
We have to get 1,500 hours of classroom time, which is why the program is 3 years. And then we take a theory test and a practical test. So the theory test is questions on the computer, and then the practical task is actually going in and being observed by monitors and doing hands-on skills and tasks in order to become licensed cosmetologists.
Excellent. So here at Cat South, what has prepared you for those tests, do you feel?
Level 3, we always run drills, practical and theory drills. So we'll all set up our stations like the actual state board test, and we'll do all the tasks that we have to do on the test and just master it, and we'll do it over and over again until we know that we can do it and we're confident to go in and take the test.
So tell me a little bit about your favorite performance task. What do you really enjoy doing?
I like hair color. I like to do highlights and basic hair color, and I also like makeup. I do my friend's makeup. I did my friend's makeup for prom and homecoming. I actually did a bride's makeup for a wedding one time. That was really fun. Those are my favorite too.
So comparing your education here at Cat South to your education at your home school, Broadneck High School, what similarities do both schools share?
Similarities. There's more differences actually. Okay. Here at Cat South, we become really close with our classmates and our teachers, and I feel like there's more hands-on here, and we can really dive into the content and just master everything we need to learn here compared to like our home schools.
That's great. So next steps, when we're looking at Cat South, what other skills do you learn here, maybe for employability or financial literacy. What have you learned here at Cat South?
We do a lot of financial literacy classes, which I think is really helpful. We do taxes and we build our resumes, so we know all of those things as we go into the real world, whereas other students from other schools don't know what any of that is. Like, all of my friends at my home school don't know what a credit score is, but we had a whole lesson here on learning what a credit score is and how to build it, and just practical things like that we'll need in real life.
Wonderful. So did you learn anything about budget or any other like credit awareness, like with credit cards? Or
Yeah, we learn about budgets. We make a budget for ourselves that we try to follow, and yeah, we do our credit score. We learn about credit cards and how things can tamper with your credit scores, and taxes, how they take taxes out of your salary, and all those good things to know for successful life.
So what made you, when you were in ninth grade obviously, what made you really want to explore CTE, Career Technology Education?
I knew I didn't want to sit down in a classroom at my home school and just do a bunch of book work, and I always had a passion for cosmetology, and if they offered it here, I was going to jump on it as soon as I figured it out, which I did, and I just have been motivated to work as hard as I could here.
So how do you think some of the skills that you've learned here at Cat South, can you use them in the next steps in life?
Definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I work in a salon now, and I see all the ladies doing everyone's hair, and I sit down and I watch them, and I know, oh, I learned how to do that in class, and I could do that once I'm licensed, and I just feel confident that I can go in and I can start working fresh off graduation.
Do you feel that you've learned other skills other than cosmetology, specific skills that you can translate into the next steps in life?
Yeah, I feel like my people skills are better. Like, I can carry on conversations with people and just have normal conversations, whereas like some kids struggle with that. I feel like the environment that we have here really makes it easy to just be a people person and just communicate with people.
So any interactions, have you had any interactions with different business partners here?
Business partners?
Or maybe partners that have come in for an interview, or?
Well, we do our mock interviews in 2 weeks, so we'll have a bunch of different companies come in and interview us as if it was a real interview, and we use those interviews as practice, so when we do go into the real world and try to get jobs, we'll know exactly what to do and what to expect.
So it sounds like you're already out in the real world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're out working already, which is wonderful. So what do you think your next steps after high school are going to be?
Definitely so much more time in the salon. My boss is really great with teaching me things, and she's going to work really closely with me to just build my skills, practical skills, and just build a clientele and keep on working in the salon.
So Sierra, if there was a student in 8th or 9th grade that was kind of wondering what they wanted to do in their life, what would you say about your experience here at Cat South to them, even if they might be interested in a different field?
I would definitely tell them to come out to Cat South and do the Career Exploratory Program, because there's something for everyone, and you might as well take advantage of the opportunity here that you can get training for a practical field, and pretty much everyone leaves and we have a certificate to go to work. So it's just, why wouldn't you take that opportunity for yourself?
I'm Corporal Gamble with the Anne Arundel County Police. In regards to school safety, there are certain items that are not allowed in school. Weapons, anything that can be construed as a weapon cannot be brought to school. Things like switchblades, knives, anything with a sharp point, fingernail files, guns of any sort cannot be brought to school. Also, illegal drugs, prescription drugs, unless they are issued by the health room, cannot be brought to school. Tobacco products of any sort, alcohol, anything of that nature is not something that you can have in school.
Suisun, thanks for joining us today and being on the show, kind of giving us a feel for what happens here at the CAT Centers. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from and that sort of stuff.
So I've lived around here for pretty much a good majority of my life. I go to South River High School, not too far from here.
Right.
And I've pretty much come to CAT South from my freshman year all the way up to my senior year as of right now.
So do me a favor, go back to freshman year. When you first came here on that exploratory program, what were the experiences that you had then?
So I took electricity, Cisco, which is my current course, carpentry, and marine repair.
And so I'm thinking that Cisco was probably what you enjoyed most, but did you have a good time in those other experiences as well?
Yeah, it was a fun experience. I got to learn something new. Like I was twiddling between marine repair and I decided to go with Cisco.
Okay, so you're well into it now. Level 3 student here, senior. How has that really helped shape your high school experience, having the CAT experience as well as the comprehensive high school?
Well, I like to think I have more of a unique high school experience.
Okay.
I could definitely do something more different than most average high schoolers in America.
Okay.
I've gotten 5 industry certifications so
Wow.
far.
That's incredible.
Plan to finish with 7. I think that's still quite different from majority of high schoolers.
Without a doubt. So let's talk a little bit about that. You've got coursework, you do a lot of hands-on here. What leads to those industry certification levels? What do you have to do?
Pretty much, it's a lot of like hands-on material for our lab equipment. We have routers, switches, PCs. You have to build computers sometimes. That's how I learned to pick it up myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also a lot of studying. Takes a lot of work.
Sure.
With preparation, it takes a lot. Yeah.
So we've met with a couple of other students here that are in the industry fields, the trades, if you will. Cisco's more the computer science, the computer direction. Tell me a little bit about why that was meaningful to you and why you chose that.
So usually I'd always like go home. First thing I do, sit on a computer, and that's all I did the entire day.
Okay.
So I thought, why not make my hobby my passion, and then Cisco Networking Academy.
So you definitely see a trajectory here with what you're going to do as a career, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Are you planning to go to college, or are you going to go right out into the field? What are your plans after high school?
I plan to do community college for 2 years and try to transfer out of state maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to pursue computer science or something relative to that?
Yeah, relative and with engineering as well.
That's fantastic. So you've been able to do hands-on experiences here to build your capacity and competency of those, and now you feel prepared to take the next step?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, we were talking earlier, tell me about the Skills USA program you're in. What does that do? What do you need to do to prepare, and where are you in that preparation?
So for Skills USA, we do competitions. Last year I competed in technical computer applications, and I got 2nd place at states.
Hold on, slow down. What did you compete in?
Technical computer applications.
Okay, and tell me what that is. What
so
did you actually do?
Basically, it's like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, the Office suite.
So the apps. Right?
Yeah, and then this year I'm competing in internet networking, which I placed 2nd place in regionals
Wow,
for.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And when does that occur?
We got placed for it recently, and then states is to be determined at a later date. Yeah.
All right, terrific. So as far as the program here, what you're doing here in the classroom, do you have, is it an individual experience? Do you work in teams? What's the setting like in your classroom?
So we kind of split it up half and half. We have communist and capitalist, and that's our teams, and we all work together. Yeah.
I love it. That's cool names. So you do have some projects that I would imagine having those experiences here help you foresee yourself out in the real world, if you will?
Yeah, we had to simulate the internet in a way. With the communists and capitalists that split up, it's like each country,
Okay.
each person's assigned a country. They have to mimic like a country code to match the standards for the IP addresses. So we can mimic the internet a bit. We just recently had a VoIP project. With our 2 labs in this building, we created a successful network that we could call each other on our VoIP phones.
Are you saying void?
VoIP.
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 Voice over Internet protocols.
Yeah.
Okay. We use some industry lingo that I just want to make sure our audience knows about. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience here at the CAT Center?
Not that I can think of. You pretty much covered a big majority of it.
Well, I really, really appreciate you being on set and joining us and giving us a little bit of insight about what else there is available here.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here for On Course. We appreciate your time, and we hope you've learned a little bit about what happens here and in the entire CTE industry. If you've got an idea about an upcoming episode, please contact me at the Board of Education at wlee@aacps.org. That's my email address, and I'll be sure to get back with you. And maybe between the 2 of us, we can set up another episode later on. Thank you very much, and have a great day.